Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to episode 0 of Through the Tomes. It's a show where an amateur DM takes a group of friends and co-compatriots through an adventure or campaign of Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe other things in the future. But for now, it's Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Petey Rave, your weary and nervous dungeon master. Here with me is my players, my crew, some familiar faces and one might not be familiar, but some good faces. Let's start with let's go this way. We have Daisy.
Hello.
We've got Brett.
I'm easy to get along with when things go my way.
Mm-hmm. We've got Drew.
I've had all these months, and I did not think of a joke for this part of it, so that's great.
And we've got Matt.
I have a very worn out Star Wars night pint glass from Oak Street Draft House and Cocktail
Nice.
Parlor. Couldn't remember what the P stood for.
Yeah.
I will
It's
probably
like cocktail pound.
I will likely be having beers as I DM because it's nothing like DMing with a little buzz. But I wanted to shout out the beer I'm going to have today, which is the Tank Brewing Company here in Miami. I don't know if this is going to be a thing, but I'll do it for now.
You hashtag Petey at checkout for.
I wish. Tank Brewing Company. I just like shouting out. I would like to shout out a local business that makes cool stuff. It's the Freedom Tower, American Amber Ale. It's a pretty dope little amber ale. It's pretty tasty. I've been pretty happy with some of the. I'll have other ones that I'll shout out. But there's a couple of really cool breweries nearby that I'm happy to support here in the 305. Well, that's that.
Yeah, buddy.
Alright, so Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, I like playing Dungeons and Dragons with you. Yes, I do. Enough double clicks, but we're doing Dungeons and Dragons. We're doing a little party. We had some ideas, and we're going to start off. What we're going to do for episode 0 is we're going to start putting together character creation, putting together backstories, formalizing some of the stuff as far as like relationships and stuff like that, and losing video and causing
it's going great.
It's going
I love
great.
it.
Just lean to your left, Matt, or lean to your right. Lean to your left. You're Brett now. Now Brett is Drew, and
There we go. This is
uh,
very natural for me.
yes.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. We're gonna talk about some of the. We're gonna talk about like a little bit of their backstory because we had some ideas and I want to kind of bounce it off with the crew and they throw their ideas because it's gonna be a collaborative effort with Dungeons and Dragons. So one of the things I know we discussed, which is the classic. All right, how did you guys? Do you know each other or do you meet in a tavern? And I think we decided that it'd be cool if you guys knew each other for a couple of years, like for a little bit of time, right, guys?
Yeah, I liked that idea.
Yeah, it's usually, like, I feel like a lot of times when you get groups together, there's a lot of, like, the first couple of sort of sessions is everyone running into each other and stuff like that. So it's a little bit rote.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. So did you? So let's start bouncing off some ideas. Obviously, we thought you guys have met each other. My idea is that you guys knew each other, have known each other for a couple of years at this point before we meet you guys officially on the show. Doing odd jobs. So let me set this up as far as the setting. We're gonna be setting this in Wildmount. Because I'm a Critical Role mark. I'm sorry. I really like Critical Role, and it's a good setting. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a lot of like modules. That's going to be the big thing about this show is we're going to be doing modules and adventure modules from different DMs. I'll be sure to shout them out, show you where you can check them out. And I'm going to also be shouting out resources and map sources, because that's going to be the other thing that I really like, that I want to do about this, is show how easy it is to do D&D, and how many resources there are out there and how many cool people there are to support out there. But we're going to be in Wildmount, and we're going to be along the Menagerie Coast. And one of the things we decided is we all have been traveling together a few years, doing odd jobs, working here and there, kind of doing the mundane version of what your adventure class is going to be, maybe. So did you all? Now here's an idea. Did you all meet at the same time, or do you think you guys met one at a time over time? What do you guys think?
I don't even know who everybody is yet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
that would make sense for me to run into people easily.
Yeah.
It's easy for my character, and I would imagine Daisy's as well.
You would think yours, you kind of gathered people over time, just meeting friends and meeting people to help you out with stuff.
I would imagine because of my my line of work, I don't stick around in one place long enough, but I do probably run in the same circles as people who also don't stay in one place very long.
Yeah. So
I like to think that we all went and took a class together at a bard college to learn an instrument, and most of us were dropouts.
Yeah. Or something like that.
You got cheated off my notes.
Yes. So we can talk about our characters, because I know you, Brett, you had yours pretty much figured out, and then what I'll love to do is actually even talk to you individually about secret backstory stuff. But you have Tobold. I already have your name on there. Tell us a little bit about what everyone knows about Tobold.
Well, let me just click over here to my notes page on this.
You don't have to say everything; just whatever the group knows. You don't have to
Yes, I am the halfling bard, who I don't know. You guys probably don't know two lute playing halflings with blonde hair and these dashing good looks. You know. Yeah. But no, I'm just I'm more in it for just playing some tunes than making a buck. I'm not exactly adventure person, but I hang out with adventure people because it's a good time.
Yeah.
And all the best music that can be written are about firsthand experiences of going on adventures. And so I tend to surround myself with folks who are, interesting and aren't tired old. I'm a dwarf cleric. I'm a human barbarian. No, I like some colorful cast.
Yeah.
I generally I don't have any strong opinions about a lot of things. I just generally like to go from place to place and eat some food. I'm not much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not much for drinking, but you'll
pair a wine with your meal. Pair a good meat with your chicken.
Yeah, because if I drink to my fill, I'm gonna put myself into a place that is not the emotion I want to have with my music.
I was gonna say, halflings, the ones that really know how to hold their liquor.
I mean, I prefer to chomp on my pipe, and that also frees up both of my hands to play music.
Yeah.
Can't play a lute with a bottle or a flagon in my hand.
Tell that
yeah.
Slash. I don't know how that was.
Yeah. Yeah, and and one of the cool things is you have your stats rolled and everything. You have kind of a set up. You have your classic bard stuff. You've got your proficiencies. Let me see what equipment.
Boy, do I! I am proficient as.
You got your little dagger, you got your little sling, and of course you got your loot.
Yes. I am fit to stand back.
Yeah. So you got and pretty straightforward. And of course, now we have yours is pretty much formed up. One of the cool things you're mostly you got good dexterity, you got good charisma, you got good intelligence. Yeah, we've looked at your features and traits. You got them all set up. Let's go to Daisy, because you kind of you had a few things set up already. Tell us a little bit about what everyone knows about Wind and Summer.
Wind and Summer is a 27-year-old tabaxi. She is a curious by nature, of course. Joined a monastery when she was 17 to help kind of her impulses, to try to learn to gain control through meditation and things like that. But after 7 years, realized, no, that ain't happening. Yeah. So she left and decided to travel the world. And that is as far as I've gotten.
Yeah. We can one of the couple things is we can choose a want to choose a deity. I can show you since we're in Wildmount, we have the deities of there. If you look under D&D Beyond, if you want to go open up the sources, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, you can see under the Pantheon of Exandria. There's some good ones. Melora is easy for neutral characters because she's the god of seas and wilderness. There's the Wild Mother. There's also.
Is there a cat lord?
Let's see. Let's see. There's Avandra, the Changebringer. There's Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon. There's Coralon, the Archart. I wonder if there's I gotta go back and see if there's one that the Tabaxi in particular. Like.
I was reading up on it here, and I didn't see a specific deity that they follow.
Yeah, they don't really have one. So we can look at that in a moment.
Yeah, let me look at this. Also, Wind and Summer likes to play her flute.
Yeah, it's I like the idea that the group kind of like you do odd jobs and do different ways to make money, and probably one of those ways is like, Toby sets up and you perform in random bars or places, and you all contribute a little bit. He's the star with his loot and his and his flute. But you guys help out a little.
He's the one carrying us along.
He's the bard, but you guys can play a little bit. Like, he taught you guys a little to at least accompany. One of you can keep time a little bit on a little drum or something. Doing old bar jigs and tunes for people drinking.
I'm down with that.
Like, I think that makes sense for some of the odd ways you guys had to make a buck, make ends meet.
I haven't been starving. So I'm sure that I've been making enough to at least pay for the meal.
Yeah.
Play for food is
food and board and be able to
I know all about just playing for enough to food.
Yeah.
For $50 and free cheese fries and $50 and half price on cheese fries and free Miller Lite on draft. Who can drink that crap?
Yeah.
Falling storm.
Tip your barmaid.
You know all about that.
Yeah,
there's four of you, and there's $200, so we have enough for food. And
not enough to fill an Econoline van.
Nice.
I've gotten spoiled to where I I won't eat the food unless it's free.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's discounted, I'm like, no, man, I'm eating somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can't be bothered to give me food.
Yeah. But okay, so this is going to be an opportunity. I don't know if Wind and Summer has got a chance. Oh, so you went ahead and put together your stats.
It was more of me dinkering around to see what the system did, and I'm kind of I was messing around, waiting for further clarification.
Okay, so we can do it. We can do so we can go into rolling stats and wait, let me play around with a random character of mine. So
I think I am gonna do Druid, but I'm still trying to decide on race.
Yeah.
You have options.
You have options.
I know.
You can be a turtle.
We can min-max this to the most. Yeah. You could be the turtle of the woods.
So there's a couple of ways we can do it. We can do the standard array, which is the classic standard array, which is it's 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. And then you just assign those however you see fit. Or I think that's what it is.
That's what I ended up doing. Like in the past, I would normally roll 4d6, drop the lowest, and we
can do
because we're doing this digitally.
Yeah. So, do you feel comfortable? Is that a way to? Did that give you like kind of what you wanted as far as like the stuff?
Yeah, you can get to any character class you want with that. You're not going to be limited by your die rolls or like anything like that. And there's plenty of, especially for level 1, you get quite a bit. They're pretty judicious with bonuses on.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of the point buy, which I think that standard array is one of the things that can result from the point buy. But I am also certainly not opposed to the standard array.
Yeah, it could be like, do you want to just do it? Everyone does standard array, and just like as a way to kind of just make it simple.
I mean, that way, like, because the only thing that, like, as long as everybody's characters have the same batch of points and like you're the DM, like it shouldn't be any more difficult for any of us. Than it would be. Anyway. So yeah. And you don't end up with like a whole bunch of. I mean, with the points, doing like the points plus type thing, you'll end up getting generally to the same place.
Yeah. So, and you got good dexterity. You're gonna be able to, which is good because you're gonna be doing some dope monk shit. Dope ass monk shit. Monks is gonna be a very fun class to play. They some would call them OP.
Ooh.
But
I have never played a monk before.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be fun.
Like it's something that I've heard from multiple people just in random passing. Ember Moon was like marveling because Ember Moon, the WWE superstar Ember Moon, formerly Athena, has been a D&D player since like I think 2nd and 3rd edition since she was a kid. She was talking about like one of the things she would like rant about when she was like on up and down, up down on Awesome Creed channel would be like how Monk is overpowered. like Monk in 5th edition. Monk in 5th edition. It's like which is hilarious.
I guess we'll find out.
But it's gonna be fun. Ain't nothing wrong with an OP character.
Cool. And I think I found a deity that aligns to my character really well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. Is it Pelor?
Pelor. Yeah. Pelor.
Pelor? Okay.
Pelor sounds.
Yeah. Good. Life, light, nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's if I remember correctly, he's a working man's god. Life, healing, sun, life, light, nature. Let's see. Yeah, Pelor. Pelor. I think it's Pelor. Rules over the sun and summer. Is vigil, encircling the ages as the keeper of time.
The Dawnfather, you say?
The Dawnfather. Pelor is often found within the Fortress of the Sun, a shining golden citadel that brings vibrant life to the limitless orchards of the blessed fields of Elysium. Yeah, Pelor has his own holiday called High Summer. Takes place on the 15th day of the 7th month. While other parts of Exandria feast, the Dwendalian Empire uses his day as an opportunity to enlist more soldiers in its army. The military holds. It's like, look. And the commandments of Pelor, is be ever vigilant of evil. People are quick to forget the lessons of the past. Help relieve the suffering of the innocent, and deliver the light of Pelor where darkness dwells with kindness, compassion, and mercy.
Well, one of us in this group just realized that I was unaware that there are some old names, old favorites that are showing up in this, such as a certain missing an eye and missing a hand fella, who may be a lich.
Yes.
Who I know from
who may have been who may have been the official big bad of campaign 1 of Critical Role.
So I have no idea about any of the Critical Role stuff, but I know about Vecna.
Yeah, Vecna.
Yeah.
Daisy knows all about Vecna too.
Oh, I know all about Lolth too. Wow, yeah.
They use a lot of what they use for Critical Role is from old stuff and from D&D stuff. A lot of it is from Pathfinder because they pre-stream they started the Pathfinder game. Look at this.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with stealing the hits.
Yeah. Which it helps that they are this is an official campaign setting for D&D now, which is wild. So we can use that. So that works, and then you got your stats. So wind and summer, kind of like our dope monk, which is going to be exciting. What can we know a little bit about your backstory, okay? And we'll talk about a little bit, maybe secret backstories in a moment. But who's next? Matt, did you figure? Are you ready? Are you wanna?
I said, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I've been looking, and I think I'm definitely going to do druid, and I think I might just do human.
Mm-hmm.
And my question for you is, you have the stock human, which is ability scores each increase by 1, or you also have the variant.
Yeah.
Which, and is that an option?
I let me play around with
two different ability scores. Yeah, 2 different ability scores of your choice increase by 1 rather than all of them. You gain proficiency in 1 skill of your choice, and you gain 1 feat of your choice.
Let me just create a character.
This seems like it kind of balances out and lets you be more what you want to be.
Yeah.
More what you
be less of the generic human guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me see. Human.
You can be wise as shit.
Variant human. I wonder where is this from?
It's from the player's handbook.
Oh, yeah. Humans are most adaptable. If your campaign uses optional feat rules, I think that works. Yeah, you can 2 different abilities increased by 1. Yeah.
2.
And then in 1 skill of your choice, and you gain 1 feat.
Proficient in breakdancing, and your feat is.
I'm not gonna do it to an annoying degree, I hope, but this druid may or may not be a total hippie.
Yeah.
And may or may not engage in drum circles.
My suggestion for Davey for you.
Hates Matt.
I have a suggestion, and you can veto it. My suggestion is the easiest one. The Wild Mother.
All right.
I think it's Melora. The realm of the wild extends to wherever the seas shift and the land grows wild. As the keeper of the wilderness, Melora, the wild man. She represents the wild creatures of nature, the rush of the angry rapids, the heat-heavy stillness of the desert. Elves worshiper, as do hunters. Protect her commandments are protect the untamed wilderness from exploitation and destruction, slay abominations and other mockeries of nature, and embrace and respect the savage nature of the world, exist in harmony with it.
Oh yeah, that's me. You just gotta commune with nature, man.
If I was, because I was thinking of my faith being aligned with Avandra, which would actually make a lot of sense. There's going the running gag of me and him getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah, like change is inevitable. Like she who makes the path. Yeah, that works. And then so we have, and what is their name? This human druid.
Oh, where was it? I put it somewhere. Yuri Cilero.
Yuri Cilero. Nice.
What did you say, Daisy?
Todd.
Todd, yeah.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
We found Luke. He's a human.
Okay,
yeah.
I may
in the woods.
Oh my God, he is a percussionist.
Maybe Luke is his middle name, and he also goes by Luke.
Drum circles, yeah. You do the percussions for like all the impromptu performances because you know.
Okay, I'm changing it. His name is Lucius.
There we go.
Lucius
Cilero. Yeah.
That's some seat of the pants Dungeons and Dragonsing.
Yes. This is.
Oh, I got
it.
a system.
Yeah.
I got a system for names.
And then, well, I mean, what do we know? What does everyone know about Lucius? What does the group know from hanging out with him?
Well, I mean, he's very pretty easygoing, but he can be kind of protective of the forest. He lives kind of on the outskirts of town. So he can better commune with nature, in whatever manner that may be, and he's a great guy to visit if you also want to commune with nature. He may or may not have the alleged good stuff.
Greenest thumb in town for the lowest coin.
May have brought it over from Tal'Dorei.
May have.
Drugs. Drugs in
So now,
Alexandria.
so that maybe that's how that's Tobold's supplier. That's how you guys know each other.
Allure root.
There's nothing wrong with little pipe weed.
Or a little bit of Allure root, which is Allure root is a heavy psychedelic drug that is illegal in Tal'Dorei. The drug is trafficked and sold by the clasps. It is used by some druidic cultures.
That's not what Toby's into. That's too hardcore for that man.
No. Root?
You can keep your rituals out in the woods. I'll just puff on this pipe and
just regular old.
Make me wonder if you actually are talking to those animals or not.
I wonder.
Well,
this game learned from you. Communion is an actual spell.
Mm-hmm.
A useful spell. You literally get to ask your god 3 questions. They have to be yes or no, but you get to actually ask your god 3 questions.
Like Homer Simpson did when he climbed the...
Yeah, I can do commune with nature.
Which is that's one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a religious experience.
But I know clerics can do it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What language should I know? It should be.
Well, common.
I do know common. And I can speak one other language of my choice.
Is that turtle talk?
Turtle
I mean,
talk?
if we want
It's
to
turtle
min-max,
time.
if we want to min-max, I think I'm going Dwarvish.
And I will give you guys a language. I think there's a language in Wild Mountain. I almost feel like I'm trying to remember what the language is. But it's a it's a location, American coast. There's like a language, but I'll look it up in the future and let you guys just slot it in as well. That makes sense because it's a language that it's spoken like amongst the sailors and like travelers. I'll let you guys have the language because like chances are you guys spend a couple of years having to like get on ships and help out on ships and like be like. It's like, ask acid grass, nobody gets it for free. Like,
right.
So it's like, we'll take you from Port Damali to Nicodranas, but you're gonna swab the deck and you're gonna you're gonna help out on the ship, like, and then you have to so, but we know that about Lucius. I think that's it. That's worth knowing. We have your stats set up and everything, or you're setting that up.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm figuring out my feet.
Yes.
Which would have been a good thing to figure out before I sat down here, but here we are.
We're not playing tonight, so it's just a matter of like learning each other and getting to know who we are.
Yeah. I'm always tempted to take lucky, and so therefore I do my best to not choose it because it's just nuts.
Yeah. I'm up all night to get lucky.
That's what I've heard.
All right.
I may or may not be up all night to have fun.
Yeah. So that brings us to Drew. What have you? I know you decided on a half elf ranger, right?
Yes. So my character, which the super original name that I always use for D&D, Cilero Italian. I'm still fleshing out the old school writer in me that hasn't written in a while. Knows too much about like rethinking. What I'm going with so far, the baseline, is that my skills as sort of a marksman and my stealth and all that comes from a background where my parents, through possibly dubious means, have not been around in my life for very long. It was long enough to instill my sense of good nature and wanting more for others as a more charitable sort of person, but also the way they went out is sort of telling of my distrust of different forms of power, and is putting into me where I want to go out and adventure more for others than almost myself.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense for Yeah, it makes sense for like maybe for you to be a kid of the Dwendalian Empire. Like maybe it has something to do with something in that place. I don't know if that makes sense. If you looked at enough of the, because the Dwendalian Empire is like right nearby. It's the big empire. Where you're on the kind of like this lawless coast of the piracy. Well, not lawless, but like kind of like free spirit.
They would download
coast.
a car.
Yeah. That's not involved in like the mainland stuff. But it's there's enough having to deal with that. So that makes sense, and that's all stuff that you probably did, all stuff you probably at least talked about with the crew as you got to know each other. Obviously,
right.
The details is something you don't really throw out there, I imagine, but just the general like, hey, my parents aren't around. It's a little tough to get into, but it's kind of this is why I am. It's really cool. Elf Ranger. Anything else as far as like you picked your deity? You picked what was it Avandra?
Yes, Avandra.
The change.
Freedom and luck would be their province.
Yeah, something.
The idea being that. Yeah, my idea being that, like I said, I want to be a force for good, but the distrust of maybe the law stopped me from being a lawful good type of character.
And I would also look up Rebellion approved gods. Because that's the fun part will be when we go into the Rebellion Empire, because I believe that's one of the not approved gods.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is good because that's going to be cool entry, because you gotta because like it's going to be good for like intrigue and or like dealing with like maybe it's like I think Matt put it. Yeah, there's something you don't put it out. I think Matt on this show, Matt Mercer on the show, put it that like worshiping the other gods is something that it's against the rules, but nobody's gonna really go out of there unless you're like really out there doing it, like out in the streets. He called it like getting caught for weed, which I would amend with if you're white.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. I was. Yeah.
When I was watching that episode, it's like if you're caught for weed, like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like, yes, for some people.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. But so like but in the Dwendalian Empire, because of like there's a whole history of it, but they kind of brought it down to 6 gods, which is Bahamut, Arathis, Ayun, Moradin, Palor, and the Raven Queen. Not the Wild Mother, which is going to be other more interesting. So that's that bond. That like you have that conflict, but you also have that bond. Like where our gods are disinterested. But that's in the Dwendalian Empire. You don't have to figure it. We don't have to worry about that now. You're not there. It's somewhere else. Which is really cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, and those are like your story. You guys got together, and so we know a little bit more about the characters. So, we know a little bit more, and you would say it makes sense that like Toby just kind of gathered these misfits, like just as like
I collect people.
Yeah.
I collect interesting stories and interesting people.
And you kind of found these people that probably were looking for like a little bit of like a direction, or at least a little bit of like just a way to get by. And
I know a guy.
Yeah, and then like you knew people. You were a traveler. You know how to get, you know who to talk to about getting on a boat, how to get a job, how to get what like it's like a part of your feats is that you know where you can like get hooked up and perform, and you know a story for every occasion. So it's like you have your contacts.
I know how to get somebody to whitewash a fence for an apple core.
All right, so I would love to play around with. Let's see if I can play around with deafening everyone, muting and deafening everyone.
Okay.
So I would
real quick.
Yes.
There is a feat from Xanathar's Guide to Everything called Bountiful Luck.
Yeah.
Your people have extraordinary luck with which you have learned to mystically lend your companions, etc. When an allied you can see within 30 feet of you rolls a 1 on the d20 for an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to let the ally re-roll the die. The ally must use the new roll.
So it's like instead of lucky where it's on you, you get it for everybody else.
Yeah.
It's lucky and for other people.
Yeah. And only if you roll a 1.
Yeah.
If folks roll a 1.
Could be really handy.
Yeah. And obviously if you roll a 1 again, it's a 1, but like
yeah.
Then it's just the fucking dice.
Yeah.
The dice roll. Yeah, that'll work. That's cool. I like that. Like
cool.
That's dope.
And I'm not sure. It kind of sounds like it's it would apply. Am I my own ally?
I mean,
I think it would say an ally other than you.
Ally is I think ally is other people.
Okay.
I think
that would be the way I would interpret that.
Yeah, I mean, like there's house rules of interpreting, like bardic inspirations. Usually, you inspire other people, but they made an exception on Critical Role because Scanley Shorthalt would, of course, he would inspire himself. But you can, but I think
I can.
I think that's the trade-off. It's a different trait. Like lucky is on you, and then that is okay. Instead of me being lucky, I'd rather instill other people in luck.
Right. So on that note, bardic inspiration, it does specify choose one creature other than yourself.
Yeah. Choose one creature. Because it can be anybody.
Right.
Alright, so let's talk. I don't know if anybody has secrets, but we can just talk. Even if you don't have secrets, we'll talk about secrets.
Secret? Okay. Secret.
So who do we start? Let's start with Brett. So everybody but Brett in Discord.
No listening from the other room, Daisy.
Mute and deafen yourself.
I'll talk really. No, there's no way I can be quiet. My secrets are so secret.
Yes. Is there? I should write things down just in case. Okay. So maybe even before you met these guys, is there anything that is part of what's your backstory before you met the crew? What's
you know,
I know about.
I mean, generally, I would just I was thinking that my character would be just, one day he crawled out of his hole and said the pastoral life is boring.
Yeah.
Like I am generally a bland character without strong opinions about many things, other than I'm searching for a career path that requires adventure.
Yes.
My motivations are less about money, so that's about it. Like I like my end goal is to probably end up like honing my skills to the point where I can, find other people and talk shop and improve my skills in the barding.
Yeah. Is there anything that is there anything you've been keeping from the group so far that they, a little bit worried about? You a little bit about your past, or like a little bit something that you're maybe you were thinking about as your goals that you might not be ready to share with the group, or anything particular?
I kind of eschew the religion, as is fairly common with my folks.
Yeah.
I really don't. I can't really be bothered. So sometimes I get put in situations where I'm dealing with people who are religious zealots, and I have to sort of grin and bear it, and get to the end and collect the story. But otherwise, I generally keep my nose clean, and don't stick around long enough to get a bad reputation.
Yeah. Makes sense. And more or less other than that, you would say you're a pretty open book.
Yeah, I mean, like I am easy to get bored with something, and I'm probably the first one who wants to leave.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a heavy sleeper. It is a big flaw, sometimes I will complain if I'm hungry.
Yeah, we'll get a little hangry. A little hangry.
But like my focus is on getting some good songs. That is, and I'm willing to step in some stuff to get there.
Yeah. Sounds like some interesting stuff.
I'm not like racist or anything, and sometimes I'm hanging out with some rangers that have like some strong opinions about certain races, and
some Texas Rangers.
That's right.
But luckily, halflings are pretty common in the Menagerie Coast. But I would say you are a pretty accepting person of all races, but you've seen a little bit of like racism against maybe people that aren't common in the Menagerie Coast.
Hey, some of my best friends are cat people.
Some of my best friends are tieflings. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like I'll hang out with a lizard folk.
That sounds good. Right. How do we signal?
I'll learn how they play their music.
Yes. All right. How do we let's signal? How do we signal everyone to come back?
Hey, Daisy. You can hear now.
Come on back.
Okay, I'm back.
We're
gonna talk about secrets.
We're gonna talk about secrets in a moment. Well, I'll just you, Brett. You just deafen mutant, and we'll deafen mutant. All right. So, Dave, before the group, or even just outside of the group, what more could you say about Wind and Summer's backstory before she met? Maybe that thing she hasn't shared.
It's a really great question. What else could I add here? I think it's just like more than anything, she's always super distracted. And just always going after shiny things. I would say a secret is one time she stole something very valuable from someone in her village and held on to it for a little while and then before she went to the monastery, she returned it. And like no one in the village ever knew it was her.
Oh, okay. She kind of felt a little bad about that, but does she have that propensity of like maybe stealing something that like she likes and then feeling bad about it? But
yeah, I would say outside of that, she's had thoughts. I could probably take that, but her time at the monastery kind of taught her no, like don't take what's not yours. But she gets those urges, maybe. She's still really fighting it.
Yeah. Is there something about the group, or is there anything else that like, any thoughts about the group in the past couple of years that you haven't had a chance to share? Positive, negative, anything like that?
I will say that Drew's character, right? He aligns to a god, like it's like the god of kind of changes, a lot of that. My character's down for that. Like, I would say we get along pretty well. I kind of like his style of you take care of yourself, try to do good in the world, but also just like change is inevitable. Just kind of go with the flow, enjoy life, and it's okay to change. It's okay to explore new things. I would say she gets along with everyone in the group really well. Matthew's character, respecting nature, really digs that. And then Brett's character, just like the musical aspects, really, really likes that. Maybe finds him a bit intimidating. Yeah. He's very charismatic for a very short dude.
Yeah, he's a big personality in a small frame. And
yeah,
sometimes be a little bit daunting, but alluring.
Yeah, sometimes his jokes are a little, I don't know. They rub me the wrong way. They might be a touch rude. But overall, he does mean well. That's right. So we stick together.
Yeah. Anything else as far as like what you think is important about the character? Or is that pretty much it?
I think that just kind of sums her up. She's still just super curious. She wants to see more of the world, wants to explore, knows a lot about a little about a lot of things. There we go. Yeah.
And one other thing that I want to add to your character that we can reveal over time, but we probably even the group might know, but and you can already write down. You can feel weather changes, especially like when storms come. I think like as a taxi, like certain animals can like sense when there's like a hurricane coming and stuff like that. You can feel that. It's almost like you can instinctually feel the barometric pressure change and stuff like that.
Okay.
That could be something like that could play in the future.
Okay.
And I want to add that to your character. Just as
cool. I will make note of that.
Yeah, and if you ever want to ask, I'll probably if everyone's like how's the air feel or how's the weather feel, you can ask me and I'll tell you to like roll a perception check or something like that, cool. Or a nature check. Probably perception or nature depending on how I'm feeling or better.
Sure, I can dig it. Let's do it.
Yeah, so that I think that'll be a cool aspect. I think that sounds good. All right. Who's next? So let me ping Matt. Tell him to unmute Devin.
Let's see. Do I message? Your turn. All right, there we go, and I will mute myself.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I have been summoned.
Yes.
With an inferior camera.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that. It's like
Yeah,
that's kind of so. These longer things is why I didn't. Why I don't usually do these for the Astroneer thing.
right.
Because I'm not sure about the battery life on the Canon. I'm sure it could last like an hour, but it's usually I figure for
an hour, not 3.
No. Where for record breakers, it's the 40 minutes or
Right.
whatever that's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but now we know.
Now we know, and knowing is half the battle, as we all know.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So Lucius, it's good to know Lucius a little bit better.
Lucius.
So before the group, or even outside of the group, what more can you say about Lucius's background? What was his history? What, maybe some of the things he hasn't been able to share yet.
Well, I was looking through the backgrounds to figure out what to do, and I came across the criminal background, and I thought, oh, that might be kind of fun to just lean into the drug dealer aspect. That like he puts off this this thing of like, no man, I'm just a hippie guy,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do a little bit, but not, it's all good. And then no man, like, he will cut you.
Yeah, I mean, and with that criminal background, you know people. Speaking of knowing people, you know people, and you may have used a couple of your criminal contacts to get some extra gigs. That maybe if Toby had trouble finding a gig, you knew a guy who knew a guy
Maybe.
that could get a certain gig that was a little bit harder to get into. Or like a boat. Like sometimes you got them on a smuggling ship. Maybe didn't tell them.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, when they were having trouble on like maybe a unfamiliar place, or at least if in certain times where it's like having tough luck, it's like, okay, I can get you. You probably know a couple of Revelry folk. The Revelry, if you look at it as the organizations.
Okay.
Which is they're the pirate folk. They're the Pirates Guild,
Oh.
the mafia. You probably know a few Revelry folk.
I think so.
You have some contacts there. You're not a full member, but you know people and you work with them. And you have some
contacts. I know a guy.
Yeah. You know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy at the guy. You know the guy at the place with the guy who's friends with the other guy who's at the other place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's his cousin. She'll hook you up.
Yeah.
She'll get you what you need.
Yeah. Now, would you say like that's and then that's your background. Now, would you say it is a full-on two-faced thing, or is it more like you had that as part of your background, but you genuinely feel the druid, the hippie stuff, or is it a complete front, or is it just like this is really who I am, but there's also this stuff in the background that which would
I think it's more of a lingering background.
Yeah,
like maybe he's softened in his age.
Yeah.
I mean, and he has the contacts. There are still some places that he might be a little reticent to go.
Yeah.
Alongside with the whole worshiping Melora.
Yeah.
But so like he only deals with friends now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so a little bit about his background. Is there anything else about his thoughts or his feelings on the group that you haven't had a chance to share with them?
nothing immediately comes to mind.
He doesn't have to, because we can always just build everything out over time.
Right.
But
yeah, nothing immediate. I guess there is going to be some friction, like you said, with Drew's ranger, whose name I forget.
Cilero, I believe.
Cilero
Italian. Yeah. Possible friction with their gods, or well, it's been like there's some like conflicting ideals, but there's a bond but conflict kind of thing. It's like you get each other, but it's like all right, fine, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Is there anything else important that about his motivations going forward that he hasn't shared with the group? Or is that pretty much sums it up?
I guess that about sums it up.
Yeah.
I guess we will learn why we are leaving in upcoming episodes, if not tonight. But okay, I think
we'll when we start, you'll kind of be arriving in Palmaflora, and we'll talk about kind of what you're doing there. But again, it's just the standard stuff. I would say the standard stuff. We'll probably tell the group the standard stuff is like you're arriving. It's another place to you've been in a lot of different places. Another place to see if you can find work, make another a buck. Feed yourself, get a place to stay. But you decided on a smaller town, just because like you've been in big cities and it's been your up and downs. You thought I think it'd be calmer in a smaller town. Oh boy,
one would hope. But at least I'll be closer to nature, and it'll be more easily accessible.
You'll be on the coast. Yeah, I think that sounds good. All right. I guess I'll have you ping Drew.
Alrighty. Oh God. There we go.
Yeah. I'm guessing I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Cilero. So before the group, what more do we know? What does the group not know? Tell me a little bit more about Cilero's history and background.
So the thing about that was, and what I've been thinking about Cilero, and his background specifically, especially when you started talking about sort of things the group would know versus wouldn't know. I guess my question would be, as I'm thinking of this story, what is the general average age of the group?
Let me see. I think they have
as far as characters go.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Let me look. I don't know if they've all put their thing. Let me. Oh, I'll just put it in. We can put it in the Discord chat.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out in here if there was a side chat in Skype or.
Yeah, I mean the Through the Tomes channel in the thing. I would just.
My basic idea right, is if everyone is tending on the older side. And by older, I mean like tending on the late 20s side or older. What I would think would be a neat idea is, like I said, I'm wanting my character to be chaotic good, right? As opposed to lawful good. And why I say that is, like I said, my distrust due to my family dying. But I also want to play with, okay, this is perfect. Because I was thinking about being around 26. So my parents died when I was a teenager, right? Yeah. And as my parents pass, what first happens is they die when I'm a teenager, so there's no adoption. I sort of run off when they die. Because I don't trust the government to put me in I don't trust the law to put me in a good place. I don't trust it during the war. I don't trust it during the war. So I run off and I sort of live on my own. Excuse the cliche literary reference, but very Holden Caulfield. Yeah. Drunk, sex, all that sort of thing. And I fall in love with somebody. Yeah. And that I know that in my drunk haze, in the drugs and all that, you know what I mean, I fall in love. And through this love, I've fathered a kid. But because I am not the right man to be a father, I run. I run from the love of my life and from my kid. And part of the reason why I have become so charitable is to atone for this sin, to give back to the world that I have screwed up, and to feed into something a little better. So I always am mindful of the downtrodden. I'm always mindful of those who don't have as much, because it could be that person I left behind. It could be that kid I left behind, and I am unsure of where or who that is. Because I have left in sort of fear of me being bad unto this kid. And I clean my life up later on and stuff like that, but I'm thinking that sort of thing would be fun to play on, like, oh geez, I found myself back in an old town, stuff like that, for you, and stuff like that, like somewhere along that line, something like that.
That works. And like, do you know, so I think everybody here is more along the lines of the Dundalian, the Edmund Archicos. Do you, where did this happen? Do you know where this happened?
No, you were saying a place, and I was going to start looking that up.
There's a couple of, like, if you look in, and like, okay, so how would you describe that city in broad general terms? Like, is it in a big city in the empire? Of the big
so
empire?
What I was thinking was
or on another continent.
We were what I was thinking was since it was going to be something where my parents were maybe sent off to die by royalty or by government, it would be somewhere where that city is the center point of the city, is something very important for the overlying empire.
Yeah. So on this continent, the Dwendalian Empire makes sense. Like in the center, maybe even like Rexingtrum could make sense. I would say you have access to, like I said, as far as out to Wildmount, go into Zemni Fields, should be. That's in the middle of the Dwendalian Empire, and you can see things like the big cities. Like Rexingtrum is the big city. It's like the big metropolis. It's about 200,000 population, and it's 81% humans, which a punk half elf kid getting lost in that place makes sense.
Like, what was the name of it?
Rexingtrum. So it's in.
Hold on, I'm looking at people.
So I should say chapter 3. Wildmount Gazetteer, the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. You got it?
The table of contents, chapter 3. Okay.
Yeah. Under Wildmount Gazetteer, you should see Zemni Fields. Listing the
okay.
And then under that, I don't know how it looks like under areas N to R, Rexentrum, REXXENTRUM. Look at that. There's other cities there, but that's the big city. I think something major happening, and a kid running away and getting lost. A punk kid, especially a half elf kid, getting lost in the system, getting lost in the city, hiding. Could make sense in a humongous city like that.
I'm right on that down.
But that's just an idea.
No, I like that idea. That's actually, I was going to go hunting for a city kind of like that, so having that as a place to start.
Yeah. So if you look that up a little bit, you. So here's the fun part. I'm gonna gift you a language. You don't have to figure out and add in your book. Under your languages, I don't know if it's automatically be able to fill in, but put in Zemnian. So Zemni, AN.
Where? I'm trying to remember their language.
You just type it in. I think under your character, under let's see, under character details. No, let me see. Personal characteristics. No. Notes. I forget.
Not a problem. Oh, I could put it under notes for the time being.
Yeah, if anything, but you should be able to put it in there under your notes when you go to your character page.
And it was what?
Zemnian. And that part of the book, Zemni Fields, Zemnian.
Okay, perfect.
It's kind of like a Germanic language. Literally on the show, it's basically they just fake speak German and stuff like that. But I would say, unless you really want to kind of find a way to have a subtle German accent, I would say it's something where you've learned to kind of maybe train the Zemnian accent out of you. You kind of something that you hide a little bit. I would say probably not try to hide where you came from a little bit.
I mean, and that's, I'm building my character sort of as sort of that, like I was saying in chat earlier today, I am thinking of him more as his sneaking and his sort of ranger abilities came from him sort of being on the run a lot, sort of how I built my road
out in the wilderness, having to survive, having to make work in the fields. You know how to track prey. You know how to hunt, things like that. Just basic hunting.
Right, and that's why I'm building it more under the guise of deception and survival and that sort of thing. So having that sort of deceiving nature, maybe every once in a while a Z falls out of my mouth or something like that, but not
like a little bit of but you're good about. You've trained yourself quite a bit on how to hide your accent, especially since when you tried to you have to do a lot to get out of to sneak out of the Empire without leaving a trace. Because you can look at maps of Wildmount. It's a bit of a distance to get from Brexington to the coast. But you had to do what you had to do. You have to do what you have to do to just not leave a trace. Not leave any connections, not leave any strings. That makes a lot of sense. That works a lot. Is there okay? So that's like a lot of your backstory. Is there anything else about the group, like anything else about the group that you haven't been able to tell them, or your thoughts on the group, positive, negative, anything?
Well, coming from my past, how I'm sort of going to outlook it is weirdly autobiographical, I guess. But that not everything I'm saying, but like how I come to where I'm at now and trying to atone for those sins, right? I try to appease the group, but I have a distaste for, as they were talking about, maybe Longleaf, maybe the Meads and all that sort of stuff, is sort of something that I will try to shy away from, but I do not want to let on that I shy away from, because of my worries of falling back into old ways. And also, I put in without anybody knowing, and I think I'm going to put this as part of my character. One of the, because I can pick two types, or two of my preferred enemies as a ranger, that I get saving rolls from. And I thought it would be fun. I don't know how I'm going to put it into my character yet, but I thought it'd be fun to put one of them as a halfling. Sort of make it like, I'm along with him, and I trust him, but I maybe don't trust all of his people for reasons.
So it's like, which is, and again, you're from a place where halflings are. You're going to see a lot of halflings around. That's in the Menagerie Coast. There's halflings are just not as common, but they're as normalized as any human. They don't make a huge part of the population, but they're like, they're just like I said in that quote, they're just a little shorter and a little fatter, but people consider them the same. And then we can play with, and then we look at. I'm also going to look at halflings in the Dwendalian Empire. Because so let me read out halflings in the Dwendalian Empire. Generations ago, the halflings of the Felder clan established a settlement. Your character doesn't know all of this, but this is like a good preface. Village discovered in time that they had inadvertently created an agricultural powerhouse. The word halfling has been synonymous with a simple rural lifestyle ever since. The dutiful, orderly people of the Dwendalian Empire most often think of halflings as carefree country bumpkins, and a nation obsessed with its heritage and its legacy. The stereotypical halfling philosophy of living life in the moment is viewed as pathetically unambitious. So, so it makes perfect sense. It's like these fucking like little country folk,
I pulled myself out of my idiocy. These guys came to what? Read a book.
Or live some order, like this carefree lifestyle. Come on, get some purpose. And I would say and that could be something where you're cool with Toby because he seems to have a purpose. Even if he seems like kind of, chill and carefree, the fact that he writes he's going around getting stories for music is cool. And you're starting to understand that the carefreeness isn't just completely carefree, but it's still that back in your mind stuff, or okay. I mean, I'm willing to go along with to make ends meet, but we're gonna have to have some life purpose and some a mission. You even if you in all this you're looking for an order and a mission and a purpose, because that's just how you were raised.
Right.
Yeah, the culture. And so anything else that you would think would be important?
Right now, nothing that I can think
Yeah.
of.
Okay, that works. I think that works a lot. If you we went through a lot, so if you write a lot of it down in the secret notes part of the character, so I can look it up again, that would be great.
Oh, is there a secret notes part?
I don't know. I think so. I assume. Or is there like a backstory part?
There's a backstory part, but I didn't know if it was.
I think
extras. There's a backstory part in notes under description.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was included, like if everybody could read that or not.
Type. Well, okay. We'll play around with that when we get the whole group. So let's get the whole group now that we're ready. Here.
I have arrived.
Yes.
Hello.
Fear not.
All right. So a lot of fun stuff. I think this is actually gonna be some fun storytelling. So I wanted to see. Okay. Here's a fun experiment. Well, I can even probably write something. Go
I
into
put something in my backstory description.
Oh, okay.
If that helps.
Yeah, I wrote something too. I wonder if it overseeded it. If it overrode it. I think I may have overrode it. I don't know. I have to double check. Either way, if somebody else can go into Drew's character's sheet in the campaign and tell me if you can what you can see under notes, like maybe in backstory. And
Do
sometimes
we
it's
get
weird
to each
about
other's stuff?
if you go to my campaigns, maybe go to view campaign and go to view and pick Cilero and hit view. I can see everything because I can.
I'm at his character sheet right now.
Under notes.
Okay.
Under notes.
I don't see.
I'm not seeing any notes.
You don't see anything.
I
that
see.
says notes? You see.
No,
like
I
in
see.
the extra tab.
Okay,
Yeah.
you see the extras. You see the description, but you don't see the notes.
There is nothing there. in
Okay,
extra.
good, because that means that it's hidden from each other.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Like if you go on yours,
I
you can see notes, right, on your character sheet. Okay, good. So that means that's a place where you can put organizations, allies, enemies, backstory.
Gotcha.
Especially if you want to write down a bunch of details about your backstory.
Okay.
And if you want to write little things here and there, notes and stuff like that. If you want to like write out a Word document and just send it to me, you can also do that. But I think that works on that level. So secrets, backstory, things like that. It's gonna be a fun game. So what we figured out is, all right, we have this adventure. We have this group of friends that have gathered shortly, little by little, person by person, ragtag group of friends, making ends meet, trying to make their way around, along the Menagerie Coast. And you've been dealing with some big cities. You've been dealing with a lot of stuff, a lot of like maybe some turmoil, maybe some bad folk having maybe, but you decided to let's try a small town. Let's try a small like tourist town where we can make some simple work, entertain some like traveling merchants and tourists in Palma Flora. It's right near Port de Mali, so it's not going to be a big port town, and there's going to be a lot of merchants passing through, taking a rest before they go on through to. They don't name the bay that Port de Mali is in, so I'm just going to call it Damali Bay. The book.
It seems reasonable.
Yeah,
Descriptive.
yeah, Damali Bay. Up to Port de Mali.
I thought you said tamale at first, and I was real confused.
Hey, that was me last week.
Yes. Yes.
I was
like,
like,
man,
this
I wanna
is
go to
going to be
that port.
delicious.
Yes. Tamale Bay that should be a restaurant. Somebody make that restaurant. Yeah, and if you're arriving in Port de Mali, seems like there's going to be some opportunities. I mean, you're arriving at Palma Flora. You've been to Port de Mali. You've been to Nicodranas. You've been to some of the bigger cities. Let's try a small town. Figure things will be calmer here, maybe.
One can hope.
One can hope, but there's gonna be. We'll see what actually happens next time on when we actually officially start the campaign. I'm getting nervous. I'm like at the thought of. I'm excited and nervous at the thought of actually running this campaign, which is exciting. How are you guys? What do you guys feel? How are you guys feeling about this thing going forward?
I'm feeling. Go ahead.
I haven't played D&D in like a year. I played 5th edition like 3 times, but just like maybe 4-hour campaigns at most, and that was it. So I'm excited to get this going. Play with you guys.
Yeah. What were you thinking? How are you feeling, Matt?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I always get a little overwhelmed when it comes to the actual everything part of D&D, but I always enjoy it. Coming up with a good story and all that. Looking at Drew's awesome dogs helps, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Drew.
So floopy.
Drew, it's good to see you and your dogs. Again.
Oh, they're not mine. They are
or
my
the
girlfriend.
dogs. Your girlfriend's dogs.
The dogs that Drew is near.
Yeah, the dogs that are Drew adjacent.
Yes.
Which is always a good thing. But how are you feeling about doing some D&D, Drew?
I'm glad to be back at it. It's been, she said, a year. It's been countless years for me since I've kept a consistent campaign. I think the last one I played was with a certain Vincent, for a certain more cyberpunk themed
Urban Arcana, yeah. That's a whole other
so
thing.
It's been a while. It's been a minute. I've been in fantasy. And I'm enjoying the idea because I always look I want to see how other games are run and stuff like that. So getting into, because I have such a comfort in 3.5, getting into 5th edition, sort of seeing the nuts and bolts, and being able to reflect my story writing.
Yeah, and being guided through it all by rank amateur, which is gonna be fun. I think we're all gonna learn. I think that's gonna be the cool part. We're all gonna learn. Brett, how you feeling? You hyped?
I'm excited to fight with the software more than the like. That's going to be the hardest part because, like, let me tell you, you have put me in front of a microphone for the last 5 years or so. I can fill tape if you want me to fill tape. That's not a problem. We can even D&D that's gone sideways and like doesn't work right is still that's the game. So I'm even if we hit the speed bumps along the way and record them for posterity and review for all of history, we will be able to get past everything. And I just D&D. It's harder than playing video games longhand. It's there's a lot more to it. Than the rolling of the numbers and trying to go bigger.
I feel like part of the fun is how there's a lot more to it. By there being a lot more to it, there's a lot more ways that things can go. So it's more accounting. You're trying to guide the cheese wheel down the hill to a place where you need to go.
Yeah. And this is going to be a lot different because, like, my experience with, like, I have a lot of experience with D&D, and I have a lot of experience with, like, role playing and stuff as a thing, but from the 90s, and like set in Faerun. So if you want to talk about Gone the Wonderbringer, or like what to do in Waterdeep, I can tell you all kinds of things. Like if you want a Sword Coast adventure with me, but this is going to be we're going to be blazing new trails.
That's gonna be exciting.
Blazing with the hippie. Okay.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, it's all good.
I think we have a lot of really good personalities. This is a good blend of personalities, right? And we're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
It's nice to look forward to doing something every week. Because of quarantine, right? Having that little bit more structure in my life is a good thing.
Yes, we all need that.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to. I'm looking forward to doing this. Of course, I'm super nervous, but like I'm just gonna dive into it like I do a lot of things and fail along the way, but learn a lot. And I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to learn by doing and learn by trying to corral the four of you, or not corral the four of you and just go along for the ride. Because that's gonna be most of the fun. And we'll meet everyone again in Palmaflora next time. So see us here on see us here on Twitch. If you're watching the VOD later on YouTube or whatever, or if you're listening to the podcast, go follow us on Twitch and watch the games live, everything live at twitch.tv/RebelliTV or RebelliTV on YouTube if you just want to watch them afterwards, or on thetomes.com or through thetomes.com. Thetomes.com, I'm going to have the podcast episodes up there. I'll try to make sure I have the RSS feed there as well. And follow through.
Hammer that bell.
Yes,
hammer it.
Through the Tomes on Twitter as well. Follow there. Like, share, do all the things. Be along with us on this adventure. And until next time, hasta los huevos.
Toodaloo.